everyone, and welcome to Rival Bros, EPL Across the Ponds. Our third episode, I think, over here. We are back live. I am your host, Timucin, as always, representing the miserable fans of Liverpool, unfortunately, today. And Edip is here, the black sheep of the family, representing United, who is playing later on. Well, today, your time, tomorrow, my
Well,
time
yeah,
over there, right?
Mike.
Okay. So let's start with the weekends. A lot to talk about. A couple of like talking points that I want to ask you as well that we've been talking about over the last couple of days over here. And then actually, like right after we talked about that, we talked about on our shows on Monday on American Scouser. And then when I looked at Slot mentioned it in this press match, the pre-match press conference, and then I saw some comments from our good old friend Ruud Gullit earlier pretty much about the same topic. So I want to get your take on that. So let's start with the weekend over here first. Win for both our teams. Liverpool makes easy work of West Ham, really. Finally getting something out of what set pieces. Even when we conceded, it just felt like we were kind of taking it too easy. The moment we conceded, we kind of like picked it back up. But overall, an easy win. Your guys' win, that was my upset pick and was not as easy. And a really, really shady call that everybody's still talking about. So what is your take on the call with Cunha, first of all? Who felt like, I mean, the regular listeners of the show won't know, but you will definitely know, reminded me of Burak Yilmaz of Turkey, where he would like fall like he was sniped out of the tower.
There's always that. Well, actually, I was predicting a 2-0 win. I didn't really anticipate the early goal, which happens in Old Trafford, which tends to happen in Old Trafford.
You actually said, I was listening to, because I like to torture myself, so I was listening back to the episode, and you actually said like you would get an early goal, make it 2-0, and kind of like cruise. That was kind of your prediction for the game.
Yeah, and that early goal, but it comes back to what I've been saying in the American Scouser version as well, and here as well. The team wants to fight back, and if that includes a Burak Yilmaz of Lille, he made that in France as well, didn't he? So I mean, if it works, it works. It's not shady. It goes back to the defender, who would know better, I think.
Before you get carried away with blaming the defender over there, the best way to look at these, and that's the way I try to look at these, is flip the table. If that was given against United, not to mention the red card, I think more than the penalty, the red card is what really screws everything up.
Yeah.
I don't think you would be blaming the defender.
And yes and no. I would say that would be harsh. I think that's the best I can do. But apart from that, if you look at the game in general, I don't think that is correct. It's unfair on United to judge that, because the fight was on there. You could see.
Okay. See, this is where your Unitedness comes out in full force.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, I've been saying this from the beginning of the season.
I can understand what you're saying. If it's like a lucky incident, I can say, hey, they were trying, you create your own luck, right?
Yeah.
Like a lucky bounce or something like that. You can say, hey, they were working hard, they were trying, pressing, whatever, but you create your own luck. This is not really luck. The only thing lucky over here is poor, like horrible Premier League refs. I mean, it wasn't only this game. They did the same thing in the Spurs game. I mean, game after game where they were like ridiculous decisions confirmed by VAR that affected the results of the game like big time. Like there was a ton of them this weekend.
That is correct. But I mean, creating your own luck to get that in your view wrong decision, you have to be in the box.
It's not the wrong decision in your view?
I don't think so.
You just don't want to say it.
It could go either way. I mean, it could have happened to United. I would say that would be harsh, but that's it. When you're in the box, you are bound to sort of, get those decisions, even if it's the Premier League. I think that was your view as well. VAR actually made the refereeing a lot worse than it was.
Yeah.
It was really bad. So I think that those decisions could be in any game. Uh, that's the nature of the
No,
game.
that's like a Manchester United
I
take
think
on it. No, I'm sorry, man.
it's going to get worse as well
I mean,
because
to me,
I mean
that
you were saying
starts
the cup.
outside, number
Mm.
one. And the thing I don't like about that is he does go down like he was sniped. First of all, it starts outside, so it should not be a penalty. It should be in front of the box, right?
Mm.
It's the action start outside. It doesn't matter if it carries inside. The foul is started like it goes to where it was, and that was outside the box. And I didn't think it was a foul. First of all, the way he
Okay,
fouled by South,
flip the coin, like you said. If this happened, if this was
this
given to
happens to
Liverpool,
Mo, and this is where I was going with this. This is what I
yeah,
don't like about this. This happens to Mo, has happened to Mo over and over and over again. Players who try to stay up and continue get
oh yeah,
penalized. Players who dive like they got sniped from the clock tower get the penalty, and that's what
yes,
I don't like
but
about it.
my point was that's not a fair. Uh, that's
That
not
is
a
a fair
fair
thing. So
view.
you go
That's
down to get the
Liverpool.
call. You're
That's the Liverpool
basically
is talking. No. But my point was this: if Liverpool was coming from behind, like playing home, and got lucky with this and scored the penalty, would you say we won because of the penalty, or would you say yes, we were trying? We would have got something anyway.
no. I mean, you would say. I mean, you would say that was a turning point in the game. I mean, that's
Yeah.
denial if you don't say that's because not only, like I say, if it was just a penalty and it was 1-1, that'd be a different story. But the red card on top of it makes it, I
Yeah.
think, like even worse. And that's why
I
it's such a
thought
terrific
I
decision.
thought that I don't know if it's just the Turkish Super League. I think that was in the World Cup as well. If you gave a penalty, you don't give a red card because it's
That's
double punishment.
goal scoring opportunity thing.
That doesn't work in that.
I think is it only for goalies? Because that's a good point. Normally, yes. If
Normally,
it's
you don't do
outside the
that.
box, that's why it was outside the freaking box, and then it would be a red card. Like if you pull a guy going free, but if it's
Yeah,
inside the box and he's already getting the penalty, that is a double whammy. You're getting him in like a red card. Correct.
that is good.
Yes.
But here, even if you give the penalty, then you would be giving a yellow card.
Should be. I mean, like I said, we had the same thing with Gahey and Mo,
Yeah.
and Gahey didn't get a red card. And that's the problem with this league. Like the inconsistency is ridiculous. The dude is like literally in the Spurs game, he's pushing the center back with two hands. It's very obvious. And then yeah, I mean I can head the ball too if I push people around and get clear. And that's I want to get to that anyway, in terms of like the shenanigans that happen inside the box. But let's finish your game. Obviously, they get the benefit of the doubt. Do you think they still make the comeback? Or they kind of get lucky to squeeze a draw out of that if that doesn't. They don't go down to 10 men.
Yeah, I mean,
I did not watch the game.
the way obviously the way I was watching the game. I thought we were going to get the win in any case, even though we sort of trailed. But it could have ended like the West Ham game, which we really tried as well, but slept all over like your game yesterday night, for
Yes.
example. So you never know. It's a spark, isn't it? Really, and Palace is a strong team. I mean, the thing that I'm really wondering is this. I'm always criticizing these teams losing their star player, just like that to a City or to a Chelsea or to a United or whatever. But they still manage to sort of get together and sort of fill that gap in. I mean, Crystal Palace without Gay. You would say, oh, that's a big part of the puzzle. But now you see as a unit, Palace is really playing well without Gay as well, to be honest. So there are strong sides, but if you can also argue that if Gay was on that side, in Old Trafford, that would be a different story, maybe. I don't
Well,
know.
that for one, I think when people, it's almost like when you go down to 10 men, right? Like everybody realizes, hey, we're down to 10 men. So we got to do an extra 10% to
Yeah,
make up
it's
for that. So
maybe
there is
the
that
other way
aspect
around.
of it. But I think also the expectation goes down too. So when you see Palace play, if Gay was there, you wouldn't be like, oh, they defended really well. You'll be like, well, yeah, they got Gay. Well, when his
Yeah,
Gay is not there, I think that's kind of like part of the ordeal. I mean, you look at what happened with Brentford, for example. I mean, I think I was one of the ones expecting to really struggle, losing top players, losing the manager, and all that kind of stuff, and they're still doing well.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, what happens with most of those teams are, I mean, look at Bournemouth right now, for example, who lost Semenyo and stuff. I mean, they can't get a win. It's like a draw after draw and after draw. What happens is, yeah, they're still doing well, decent, but what would it have been if they didn't lose that guy? Going back to what you always
yeah.
say, if they were able
That,
to hang
that
on, not only hang on to that guy, maybe improve another position, like give him a better guy on the other wing or something like that. But
exactly, exactly.
that's not going to happen.
That's ridiculous. I think they should put a cap on that. I think I'm
Ooh, that sounded very
10
American.
man, the 10 man thing with Juve, for example, against Galatasaray. I mean, you tend to sort of react. So it's probably more difficult to play against 10 man, especially if those 10 man are defending, uh, like the sort of um, if they want to close down, you still have 9 men on the pitch to actually close down the areas.
Yeah, but
So I
I
think
mean,
it
if they
becomes
play
more
already
difficult.
back now, they don't have an outlet. So either way, it's an advantage. But it is sometimes harder to play, I think, because people are not where they're supposed to be. So when
Yeah,
you prepare and you have like set things that you're doing, you're like, why is that guy there? This was he's not even supposed to be there, but they shifted everything because they're a man down. I think that's why it becomes kind of almost like harder to break down in some ways.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But the thing is, I mean, I'm just looking at Bodo Glimt, for example. I'm sure in the summer, all the players will be going here and there, and that may be a spark of a good team, like a team shaping up, and it will be sort of all melting away.
I
And
don't know. That's like
that's
a
I
weird
think that's the
example
point,
because
because
they don't play. Like they're not playing. So they
no,
got like they basically are just nonstop practicing. So I think you can be, if anything, maybe if we didn't play games every 2 goddamn days and let teams
I
practice,
know,
the
I know.
quality of the game would be better itself, which is what I want to get to next over there. We covered our teams. In terms of upset picks, Palace was my pick, almost got it, but then the Premier League officials intervened, so that went down the drain. Your 3 point pick was Manchester City
No,
losing points,
Spurs,
right?
Spurs.
Oh, Spurs. Yeah.
It was Spurs.
Yeah, that would be a quiet upset. But they lose. I don't think it
And
never really felt close.
you said last week, when I said Spurs, I'll give you that. That wasn't
Yeah.
an easy pick,
I,
was it? Really?
they
Fulham.
made it look easy. I mean, Spurs are so bad when you watch them.
Yeah,
It is just like really. I mean, like it's shocking how a quality squad can play that poorly. It's just kind of like
exactly,
hard to
exactly.
understand. But some big wins. I mean, Everton gets a win away 3-2. Brentford, Burnley. That was like a crazy game.
Everton was my pick.
Everton was your pick. You get that one. Villa was my pick in terms of, and Wolves got that one, obviously. And that's back to back wins for them. And people who don't know math like yourself is getting all hopeful that they might make it. But we'll talk about that at the end.
No, yeah, but well, rather than hopeful, dreamy, like that would be a story to tell.
That will be a story to tell. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, even looking at today, I mean, obviously they get that like deflection and stuff like that. But I don't know if they can keep doing the playing for the draw and then going out at the end because they do need 3 points consistently. 1 point is not going to cut it like moving forward.
yeah. I haven't looked at their fixtures, but most of the teams, I think they got the advantage of this is a Wolves weekend, so
Oh, yeah. That's true too. Let me see. I mean, I can tell you the near future at least. They go away to Brentford's, to West Ham, to Leeds. So 3 away games back to back to back over there. That's kind of crazy. And then
that's
they
a
play
crazy.
Spurs, Sunderland, Brighton. They played all the big boys. If that
West
makes sense.
Ham West Ham game is a good game. I
That would be
think.
a decider almost. Like that would be the end of it, right? If they
Yeah,
don't get anything against West Ham.
yeah,
But here's what I really wanted to talk about, and we've been kind of talking about it the last couple of days. Chelsea Arsenal. That was kind of like the premier matchup, if you will, of the weekend. I could only survive the first half, even though I'm a junkie for this. I was like, okay, this is just enough. I mean, I'm looking at even the Liverpool game. Even like the games today when I was watching them, half the games again were from like set pieces.
yeah,
It's coming to a point. I was joking this weekend, but it's literally coming to a point where instead of just playing a match, give each team 5 corner kicks, 6 throw-ins, and 2 free kicks, and then see what they do, and then we can just go home after 20 minutes and not wait for them to set up. I mean, every freaking that Chelsea Arsenal game, every corner kick takes 45 seconds to a minute to set up. So we're
yeah.
not watching people play football, soccer, whatever the hell you call it. We're watching set pieces.
Yes,
It's like watching the set piece drills at practice, it feels like.
I
What
think
will
there's a
change?
who's the guy in Arsenal that has he's a set piece coach, isn't he? And he has in his
Yes.
contract he's paid for he's like on commission, so he's been paid for every set piece goal scored as well on top. So I think he's made a fortune for this.
I
And
asked.
the thing is, I think it because it's getting very cagey. Uh, you have you have the only chance, but it turns into like the American football thing. I mean, somebody is sort of kicking the ball, so you have a set piece guy, you have a
Yeah.
throw-in guy, blah blah blah. So maybe in the future there will be a throwing guy waiting on the sidelines, and he will just be throwing in, coming in, throw in, you go out. So I don't know if it's going there because, as you say, I mean, like a corner kick taker or the things that happening. I mean, Wolves Liverpool game last night. Uh, I mean, every set piece, Arsenal game was like that.
Yep.
It's like a rugby match inside, not inside the box, inside the
Yeah,
goal.
it's not the goal. Yes. But I mean,
That's
here's my thing. That's what Rudy Gullit was talking about. And I think, like Slav was talking about that. I think it was in the pre-match, or it could have been in the post-match, but it was like one of the press conferences between these two games. And he was talking about, this is how the Premier League is. I mean, if you watch, when we were talking about it yesterday, on our podcast, we had a couple of clips and people were commenting that were like, this is still the best league. This is still the best players and the best teams. But what you're watching in terms of enjoyment, entertaining level, I don't know if it is the best one. And I don't watch enough of the other leagues to tell you like a
no,
huge difference. But when you turn on a Bundesliga game that I stumble upon at times, it's definitely a lot more open. It's definitely doesn't take 45 seconds for every freaking set piece.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
feels more football than
flowing.
what we're like watching. And I just, do you think those leagues switch to this? Because here's the thing, one team starts doing it, it's a copycat action, and obviously if it works, if you can't beat them, join them, right? So everybody's doing it now. We went from not being able to cough next to the goalie inside the box to like you can pretty much like elbow him now and it's all good. And
Yeah,
that's what Slot was talking about. Like literally nothing is called on the goalies now, whereas you go and watch like Champions League and stuff like that, they do call those fouls on the goalie. Do you think the other leagues shift towards this? Or does Premier League come up with some stuff that either they call the fouls on the goalie a lot more in terms of like, preventing the goalie from coming out for the ball? Or I was thinking maybe they will have something like how many opposing players can be inside the goal
wow,
area.
that would be impossible to track, would it?
It'll be like the 3 second in basketball. They're like three
Yeah.
seconds, technical foul. I mean, they have
Yeah,
to. I
messing
feel
up
like they
messing
have to
up
do
all
something.
the sports. Yeah, mash them all up and turn them into one. No, I think the the thing is this. I was speaking to somebody, and I watched a podcast, they were talking about this. I don't know if that this is true. Um, the English, like the football, the classic that we sort of saw for years, is like bone cracking uh,
Yes.
tackles, and there was this rugby like thing in the middle of the park for
Yes.
years, and now people came, and the British keeps complaining about this. They made this a sissy game. You can touch this, and that sort of thing. So I think they are. I mean, some of the fans actually like this inside the box. It maybe reminds them of the old days, people pulling and
That's
pushing
a
and
good
that sort of
point.
thing.
I,
uh,
I think people
so
like the
I
physicality.
don't know, it's not easy to watch, and
Yeah.
I think it sort of spoils everything. And if a team really depends on the set pieces like Arsenal, that they're going to probably win the championship with this.
Yes.
And that's not in the spirit of the game. I don't think it's not outside the game. Obviously it's a set piece. I
Yeah.
mean, so it's it's becoming more and more difficult to actually scout for the set pieces as well, because there's about, I mean, if you're scouting for us for the opposition and their set piece, you sort of you go with the right. Is that an in swinger, out swinger,
Yeah.
who's staying where? Now everybody's in the box basically pulling and pushing each other. It's just a matter of who's not sort of who's the more stronger.
Who's
It's
the
a
more
rugby like.
stronger? Who's gonna get called? Who's not? And that's what I
That's the other
don't like
thing.
is because it
Yeah,
has become. I mean, we talk about over here, like like anybody who's in the States and watches NFL and stuff. I mean, the thing is, every play has holding, but is it called every single time? Like only called when it's obvious, kind of thing. And I feel like these refs already suck. We just covered how like they make ridiculous decisions
yeah,
with the help of VAR still. So now expecting them to watch what's going on inside the box with all the wrestling. And what happens is once the goal is scored, then it goes to VAR. This is about the bullshit part that I hate. And that's when it goes back to what you're saying. Some of these like pundits who used to play in those gay days where they could butcher people in the middle of the park and it was okay, it was part of the game and stuff. They're like, oh, that's not enough contact for me. I mean, I don't care if it's enough contact for you. If it's a foul, it's a foul. If it's going to be a foul in the middle of the pitch, it should be a
yeah,
foul inside the box. And if you're like, I mean, let's just not have a goalie then. If the goal is to like just has as many goals as possible, let's just take freaking goalies out. I just don't understand. Like I say, the lack of flow of the game is almost impossible.
yeah.
I mean, we used to complain about, players falling, feigning injury. You don't even have to do that anymore. Just kick it out of bounds for a throw in. There you go. That's another 30 seconds because the
That's it.
guy who takes the long throw in is the left back. So now he has to come all the way diagonal over there, take a towel, dry the ball, dry his hands, wash his face, throw it in. It's just like, I mean, there is no way to get constant momentum in the game. And as a fan watching it, if you're a neutral, I know some games have ridiculous drama, and you're like, oh, that drama was great. But was the game itself great? I just feel like it's
No.
not. It's not a fun like play to watch when all you're watching is people take corner kicks or throw-ins.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think at the end of the day, I don't think Bundesliga will be like that, or League One, or Serie
But
A
the
for that.
Premier League changed it because I mean, I mean, partially could be because Liverpool suck, but I mean, I do find myself. I mean, I mean, both of us we're junkies of this game. I mean,
Yeah,
like it's the TV. I turn on the TV usually. The default is like what's on, and it could be even as you're doing something else. It could be freaking the Mexican League, Major League Soccer, sometimes college game, whatever. It's soccer. It's a sport we love. Like I would go to tournaments for Layla and Jasmine and stuff. And sometimes you just turn around and watch a game like during halftime because it's the game you love. You just like watch it.
yeah,
But I mean, I find it literally hard to like. You see some matchups. I thought Chelsea Arsenal, for example, that should be a good game. It should be an interesting matchup. I do want to watch that. Not real. Like I literally could not. I was
no,
like, I think I'll go to Call of Duty and kill people instead before I kill the ref. And that's basically what I ended up doing for the second half. I just don't. I do
no.
feel like they have to change something to make the
Yeah,
game like people, somebody, we had like somebody from Arsenal on the podcast last night in the chat with American Scouser, and he was talking about it's a part of the game. And it is a part of the game. And I'm not saying it's because Arsenal. I mean, we beat West Ham with set piece goals. I mean, basically, that's how like Liverpool beat them. So I'm not saying like because some other team is doing it. It's a part of the game. I feel like the game has become a part of taking set pieces instead.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's because all the, as you say, the good players, there's not too much difference between the sides, to be honest. I mean, Chelsea and Arsenal, if they played, take out the set pieces, if you look at the play, and if they didn't have the jerseys on, you wouldn't say who's playing for the championship and
Yeah, that's
who's
true. Yeah.
struggling there to get to the Champions League spot. But that makes the difference. And if that's in the game, yes, I agree that would be in the game. What I don't agree with is if you couldn't touch the goalkeeper 2 or 3 years ago, when did this change, and who commented on this to change? That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, why is that not called? That's the thing. Because if it's not called, then I would be doing it on the other side as well. If the referee doesn't blow the whistle,
yeah,
then I'll be pushing the other goalie around as well, and that becomes a and the every single time in the Turkish League 2, in the Premier League 2, the reason it's 45 seconds because of all the pulling and pushing before the ball actually is in play.
Yeah.
The referee always stops. I don't want this.
Over.
And that's another 15 seconds. He calls the people over.
What is the point of calling people over?
I have no idea.
I mean, seriously, like you're going to call it. Like, what are you saying? Like, you're watching, right? Like I'm watching you. Okay, I know. I hope to fucking God you're watching what's going on in the box as a corner kick is being taken. So like calling, like it's almost like everybody is getting a breather. I really feel like they figured that, hey, it's a lot of games, man. There's no way we can play 60, 70 minutes of football in a 90-minute match. Let's just take as much time as possible during set pieces so we can get our rest in midweek when we're playing. They're making us play games because, like they're pushing, calls them over and says, no more of that. I mean, you didn't have to call them over. You could be like, no more of that. Let's just keep going. I just feel like every single set piece takes 45 seconds at least because, like I say, the guy who takes it with his left foot has to come from the other side and all that kind of crap and the pushing and shoving and then header goes above the bar, so now another 25 seconds. So we just literally wasted a minute and a half on the free kick and didn't watch any of the football being played. I don't know. I find it extremely frustrating, and I do hope they change something because it does feel like it rewards basically rugby, and it doesn't reward teams that are more like trying to actually play free flowing football and like passing the movements and stuff. Like, what's the point? Because when Arsenal does it, it's all so that they can get a corner kick or a set piece. It feels that's the main goal. If they don't foul us and we score, I guess that's a bonus, but let's get the set piece first and then we'll worry about it later. And I don't know how that's like fun to watch. It just becomes a set piece bonanza. I really think that should be a sport, by the way. Everybody gets 5 corner kicks. Let's see what you guys do, kind of a thing. But
it's a spin-off.
I know like FA Cup is like that's coming this weekend, but the game started. Liverpool gets a miserable loss. I mean, I just find that very hard to. I'm sure we'll talk about a lot more on American Scouser. If you guys are not following American Scouser, please do. Where it's basically like a Liverpool channel, whereas obviously EPL across the pond, we go all over, including the World Cup and everything.
This is the part where he thinks cleverly avoiding talking about the Wolves game in Rival Bros. That was fun. The last, I mean, I didn't turn it on because
see, you turned on the fun part. You should have watched the first 60, 70 minutes where it was like a news fest.
The pundit was saying that. I mean, we were always sipping. You said it was a snooze fest.
Yeah, the game became a game when Wolves said, I mean, basically Wolves' plan was to sit back and kind of like defend for 60 to 70 minutes, and then let's see if we get something at the end. So when they said, let's see if we get something, is when it became a game. And then they scored a goal, which, really from that was like the only chance they had up until that point. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that I
yeah,
was like
yeah.
worried.
Mm.
So horrible defensive error between Van Dijk and Konate. I put it more on Konate
Yeah.
than Van Dijk, to be honest with you, because he shouldn't slide that much to the left. But anyway, and then Liverpool gets a goal from Mo, who did not do anything entire game, to be honest with you. I thought he was like extremely poor. And then really that defining moment is when Mo takes that ball and goes on the counter and the pass is intercepted. That's going to Szoboszlai. Otherwise, probably Liverpool score and they
Yes.
might pull it off. But even then, it's just watching that team waste. I mean, we always talk about this with Fenerbahce, right? Like wasting the first half.
Yeah.
Just wasting the first half with a shitload of possession, but nothing to show for it. And for
Mm.
Slot to say, like I said, I'm sure we'll talk a lot about this American Scots tomorrow morning in the morning coffee show too. But for Slot to say, like at halftime, they talked about like moving the ball faster from wing to wing. Is that something that should really be talked about at the stage where when you
Yeah.
play
No.
against a low block, that goes without saying, right? I mean, I don't understand why did that have to be even like brought up. I mean, I'm sure it was brought up that hey, we're doing it too slow. We got to move it faster. But I mean, shouldn't we be onto that 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, and not 45 minutes into the game?
Yeah, I think you knew that in the practice.
Yeah.
I mean that that before the season starts, you know that because everybody will be
Yeah, if
defending
somebody's in
against
a
you.
low block, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you got to do. And I just don't understand how we wasted that. And it was important because of the Champions League spots. We talked about Villa, and they will, I mean, huge game tomorrow between them and Chelsea. So
Yes.
winning today would have been huge because if Chelsea lose tomorrow, now you have like a 6 point gap. Because while Liverpool has an easier schedule right now, end of the season is pretty tough. So they need to build a gap between themselves and Chelsea
Easier.
to guarantee
Yeah,
championship.
easier schedule was including Wolves game as well.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
was
on paper, obviously. I mean, I don't think there is like, I don't think for anybody. I mean, Arsenal tied Wolves away.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they have been fighting. That's the thing. That's why it would be an almost miracle of Leicester City for for them to sort of save the day there. But I think it's a bit late, obviously. But they have been they drew Arsenal. Did they beat City? No, they didn't
I'm
beat
gonna
City,
make
but I
you
think they
look.
drew them as well. They got a point from City, didn't
Not
they?
gonna do that. They got something out of it, I thought, or they barely lost. Maybe they beat Wolves, Arsenal. They lost to Chelsea. They lost to City away, but that was
Okay,
away.
wait, that's fair
I
enough.
think
No,
the
I think
backbreaker was
when I
losing at
turned it
home to
on,
Bournemouth.
the guy was saying Wolves didn't have a shot at all, not on goal,
Yeah.
no shot at all. And the last 20 minutes, that was good to watch. I think it was like a basketball game. Watch the
Yes.
last quarter, and
Which I think is not suiting Liverpool right now because you don't have the depth due to the injuries. I mean, the bad thing is I was looking at that today and I'm like, what are we missing over here? Well, you're missing 250 million that you spent in summer. I mean,
yeah.
Virus is not out there and Isak is not out there.
When
So
is he
that's
coming
what
back?
you're missing. What was that?
When is Wirtz coming back?
Virus should be back not this week, probably about next week.
All right.
Because it
I
was
think
like
he
a
makes
back
the
injury
difference
or
this
whatever.
season, doesn't he? Really,
What was that?
he makes the difference this season.
Yes, he does. I mean, in a game like this, he makes a difference because he is the one that breaks the lines. He's the one that sees the cut pass, and
Yeah,
we kind
yeah.
of like feed off of his movements because he's pops in on the right hand side, pops in on the left hand side. Even though he's midfield, he's kind of like all over the place, and you do severely miss him. But you knew you were not going to have him. You got to have a better plan than
No, that's
somebody
it.
like fulfilling that role. And obviously, having Isak would help because you can see Ekitike after 775 is not the same player. Whereas he's probably, I was going to ask you that because your boy Sheshko is getting goals. I
Yeah,
don't know if his play is as good, but at least he's getting goals and like contributing to the
pleasantly,
scoreline.
pleasantly surprised. I mean, the goal he got at the end of the West Ham game, That was class.
That was a good one. Yes.
That was class.
But in terms of like when you look at all these expensive standard forward signings this summer, would you put Ekitike on top in terms of performance, or am I missing somebody in terms of impact?
Are you comparing Šeško to? Do you want me to compare Šeško to Ekitike?
For example,
I don't
I mean,
think
to be
that's
fair,
fair
Sheshko
because
couldn't get a start.
Šeško is more like a finisher, isn't he? Really? I mean, he seems he's not playing. Ah, was he playing? That sort of thing, and then he just appears and makes a touch.
He
He
doesn't like go wide and stuff as much. Yeah, he doesn't
No,
drop
I
as
mean,
much, go wide.
I think they are different. I think
But
if
in
you
terms of like money spent versus impact made, you look at Gyökeres, you look
yeah,
at Sheshko. What the hell is the guy? And why am I always forgetting this dude at Newcastle?
Waldemode.
Yeah, that dude. Who else? There was one more. I mean, obviously, we got two with Isak and Ekitike
Yeah.
in that same position with a lot of money spent. But I think overall, he has probably been the best one out of the bunch.
Yeah, I think, but if you look at it at the end of the season, if United finishes third this season, especially in this brackets, and I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the season, but if Šeško is keep getting more goals, then you would say he would be the best value for money because he scored goals.
I mean, yeah, but if you're comparing the numbers at the time, I don't know. Like, what does he have right now?
6? No, I think 6 or 7.
By the way, I had I'll give you these stats real quick because I had pulled them up
Okay.
for set pieces, that we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
It's 33.3% of goals come from set pieces. That includes penalties.
That's not bad, actually, is it?
25.4 if you take penalties out. And this includes, though, like the secondary motion as well. So if the ball is cleared, cross back, and then it's a goal, it counts as part of that set piece.
How about the percentage of goals of Arsenal?
I did not do that for my homework.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean,
Request
it's like
next
going
time,
to,
and I'll play the song for you. But well, we can't compare Europe numbers, obviously. So let's compare their stats over here real quick. But
I mean,
oh,
1 in 4. 1 in
Ekitike
4
has
is
11 goals, 4 assists.
who?
Ekitike, and Šeško has 7 goals, 1 assist.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing over here, and goes back to what you're saying, is the shot conversion is much higher for Ekitike.
I think
But
he
the
how many
progressive
minutes did he have?
carries is
you see the
28
minutes?
versus 8.
28 versus 8.
Yeah. But
Okay.
bear in mind, I think Šeško has played a lot less minutes too.
That's what I was saying. I mean, do you have the minutes played? Because Šeško
No,
didn't play for long
uh,
spans of time.
chat doesn't give those stats for you. But yeah, I mean, what I've been pleasantly surprised with Ekitike, and it's probably like one of the highlights of a season full of lowlights, is he's a lot stronger than I thought he was going to be. Like physically, because he looked like, and that was the thing, knock on him coming in, that he was going to be pushed around in the Premier League. I pleasantly surprised that.
I think there was this incident yesterday where he was really being pulled down, not pulled down, what was it, wrestled down almost.
Wrestled down, and he dragged that dude for like another.
Exactly, yeah. I thought, whoa, that was something. That was a show of strength, I think, because he didn't go down that easily.
He doesn't look it, but he is like a song. Sometimes his dribbling, he needs like a lot more space, and he has a lot more pace than he shows. No, that's definitely been a good signing. It's just a matter of, like how it's going to work out with Isak when Isak comes back and what the game plan is. But we're probably not going to see that till next season. Isak is due back at the end of this month.
Of this month.
We might get a glimpse after the international break. I think Sweden is trying to get him for the international break, but that does not seem very
Mm.
smart or likely because they're going to be in those playoffs too. Because I think we were almost going to match them up with Turkey over there.
Yeah,
Um, but your boys play. Let's look at that
Newcastle.
real quick. Newcastle.
Well,
That is a good game.
yeah, we are playing Newcastle away. It's going to be a good game because we have the cup game with Fenerbahce, and then our podcast, and then I'll sit up for the Newcastle game. It will be a night of football, which reminds me, I would like your and the American Scouser take on the Galatasaray coming up with Liverpool.
I don't know. Oddly, more people preferred Galatasaray than Atletico, just because we have a
Oddly,
more recent negative history with Atletico. I think we all felt that when we lost to Galatasaray, first of all, it was a bullshit penalty. That's not a
yeah,
penalty in the Premier League, but it is a penalty in the Champions League. And really, we did not play that poorly. I mean, they defended the rest of the game.
yeah,
So, like, once they took the penalty kick, and it was right in the midst of our worst struggle of the season. So, I think people are a lot more optimistic that if we match up with them now, things will be different. I just worry about dealing with Barish's pace, who got the penalty that game, and then Osman going forward. But I think this Liverpool team is better than that Liverpool team. Well, I guess we'll see. I mean, I think overall the team is better. Like Viers is better and players like that. And I think we play a lot better in the Champions League because of how it's played and it's played differently, it's refereed differently and stuff like that. So, but I think with Atletico, people were afraid of Simeone's overall style and how like Madrid plays. So people prefer the reason people prefer to be on the other side was the bracket and how unbalanced the bracket is.
yeah, yeah,
Where everybody is on the left hand side, on the right hand side, it's just Arsenal and Barcelona basically.
yeah.
So that's
I
why
think
we wanted to be on the other side. But in terms of Galatasaray, Atletico Madrid, I noticed that most of the guys wanted Galatasaray over Atletico.
Mm. But the left side of the equation looks impossible for
That
for everybody.
it's really stupid.
Yeah,
For it to be that unbalanced is really stupid. I mean, it's the
I think it's all paving way to Arteta having a wonderful season. I think you look at that, and Arsenal could easily make the final there
yeah. I mean, it looks like on paper again, like they
on
should be
paper.
able to cruise, and I think the advantage there is, and that will help them in the league. It feels like a lot of those matchups they might be able to finish the deal in the first match and
Exactly.
then be
Yeah,
able to rotate and stuff in the second match and be in better shape for the Premier League game, whereas City is going to be going against Real and highly doubt they're going to finish him in one game, so it's going to be a tough game back to back and stuff. So that will be interesting to see how it impacts it. I did not realize initially when the draw happened that it was coming before the international break. I would prefer it to have been after the international break. You got Isak back and all that kind of stuff,
yeah.
but no such luck, unfortunately. Who do you think that wins that round?
Liverpool and Galatasaray, you mean?
Yes.
I certainly hope that you do a good job there because I think the momentum that Galatasaray had after the UA elimination is something out of this world because even though they had a very difficult time away,
Yeah.
they still managed to go down 3-0 away and then still pull something off and get it back. But I mean, you was barely walking. They were so
Yeah. I
tired
mean, they were
too.
down to 10 men, everything, and overtime.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah. I mean, it was 1-0, 49th minute, I think, and they came back and
yeah.
they had a ball of the post
Yes.
as well. It was going to be 4-0, and sort of they lived through that, and I think they are very strong in that. The only news that I don't know if it would make a difference in Anfield, but Galatasaray fans won't be coming to Anfield because they
Yeah,
have
you told me that. I don't know. When you said that, I was like, I don't know if it would make a difference. I mean, we saw Fenerbahce fans at the Forest game. We also saw how
yeah,
they trashed the stadium, but we also saw like how they were the entire game, and that was pretty darn impressive for a team coming away after like a 3-0. So they did make some noise, and it did feel like a home game. Really, it didn't feel like we were playing away. At
exactly.
best, the neutral sites is what it felt like. but I don't think at Anfield it would make a difference. Depends on the first game, though.
Of
So,
course.
depends on the result of the first game. I think it's still an advantage not having any away fans to make any noise. A couple of them will sneak in and get their ass beat probably, but aside from that, I don't know about that. But I know you're rooting for Liverpool,
Yes, of course.
which probably
Unfortunately,
pains you. But do you think they will get past that?
it will be more painful to root for Galatasaray. So I think it's the one of the worst teams
Yeah, nothing is more painful.
from that match. Um, I think the Istanbul game is again the important one, because I think the way Juve came to Istanbul, Tottenham came to Istanbul, and Liverpool came to Istanbul, and get their asses kicked this season.
Do you like? I mean, they lost. I mean, I say I don't consider that game where Liverpool got their asses kicked.
No, it would be worse. No, I was really talking about Juve now.
Yes, they got their asses kicked. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one was an ass beating. Yeah,
And I think the thing is, I think they came here to finish that off. That's the thing.
yeah.
Juve came here to finish that off so that they will be more comfortable in the other game. But it backfired, because I don't know how it's going to play out with your guys and the press that Galatasaray makes up front, because Juve just gave away 2 goals there and 1 goal over here in Turin,
Yes.
just because of that pressure. I don't know how it's going to play out with you
I have
guys.
no idea. Ali's distribution has been horrific, and I kind of blame him for the second goal yesterday. Everybody was
Yeah.
going after Curtis Jones for passing it back there. I don't have a huge problem with that. He can probably clear it himself, but normally we'd be like, he was calm and collected. He gave it to Ali. It's not like Ali was under the pressure when he kicked that thing,
No.
because Curtis wasn't under the pressure when he kicked that thing. So it was just like his distribution has been pretty horrific this season, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't know. I think going forwards, you can kind of play long against Galatasaray and with Ekitike and so. I mean, right before Galatasaray gets that penalty kick, Ekitike is off and running 1v1. If he scores that, that's a totally different game as well. And I think, afterwards we had chances. They could not deal with Frimpong's pace defensively either. And hopefully he'll stay healthy until we play them next week or whatever. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I don't know. I didn't have a preference. I just had a worry that it's going to be Galatasaray. But
It's
now
next
that it is,
Tuesday, isn't it? Is it next Tuesday?
it is next Tuesday. And I think their game is getting postponed, right? They're not going to play Beşiktaş.
They are playing Beşiktaş. They are not playing Göztepe.
So they're not playing in between.
No, exactly. Samsun won't be playing in between either.
Okay. So they are going to
Week
play
27.
this Saturday.
They're
Well,
going
that's
to play
a plus
Beşiktaş.
then, because at least we're playing Friday. We're playing the
Yeah.
Wolves FA Cup game Friday, which might go to overtime, I guess, technically. But still, that's kind of like a mini advantage there, because that's a tough away game for them. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But we won't do predictions or upset picks this week, obviously, because there are FA Cups next week. We'll sit down over here and preview the week after. If you have not liked or subscribed, please do so. Channel is growing rapidly. We should be starting to be more active on socials and stuff like that as well. So please do interact. If you do want to join the channel, if you maybe root for a team that is not represented on the channel, please do contact us. There's a ton of content we're planning on adding. Can definitely use more faces and rectangles and heads and mouths. So do send us a message and we'll get you involved as well. Have an awesome week, everybody. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.